Hello and welcome to another marvelous video. We consider it an honor to have you join us as we explore the amazing world of Street Fighter today. But let's take it slow before you get too eager and grab those controllers, because we're not talking about the game this time, but we are getting on to something just as remarkable. You are correct. We are referring to the famous 1995 cartoon show, of course. Many of you weren't even born when this legendary show debuted on TV. You guys are going to have an amazing time, and for the more seasoned fans, don't worry, we've got your nostalgia fix for today. Now grab some popcorn, unwind, and settle down for a trip down memory lane with Street Fighter, the animated series. Genesis of a fighting phenomenon, the birth of Street Fighter in 1995. Street Fighter is a cartoon series inspired by Capcom's popular video game franchise of the same name. It was featured on the USA Network's Action Extreme Team and Cartoon Express programming blocks. The series, which ran from 1995 to 1997 and consisted of 26 episodes divided over 2 seasons, accurately drew inspiration from the Street Fighter video games. It included characters and plots from the live-action Street Fighter movies that had been produced up to that point. Alright, fun fact. Capcom is the creator of the show. For the first season, production was handled by Graz Entertainment. The second season was taken over by Envision Entertainment. The show was canceled after just 2 seasons because it could not leave a lasting effect on devoted fans of cartoons and video games. It was forgotten by many until ADV Films released the entire series on Region 1 DVD, which revived interest in it. On April 13, 2003, Street Fighter: Code of Honor, the first installment, which included every episode from Season 1, was released. Soon after, Street Fighter: Soul Powers, which had the whole of Season 2, came out. Unfortunately, the 2 DVD sets are no longer available for purchase. A limited edition Street Fighter 25th Anniversary Collector's Set with multiple games and a Blu-ray disc with all of the TV show's episodes was released in North America in 2012. Discotech Media later reissued the series in 2015. Remarkably, in 2019, all Season 1 and Season 2 episodes became accessible on the Japanese Video Market website. Additionally, they are available for free viewing on platforms like Amazon Prime and, interestingly enough, Crunchyroll. Let's explore the storyline now. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
A group of international crime fighters known only by their code name, Street Fighter.
Exploring the episodes of Street Fighter. As far as the storyline of Street Fighter 2 was concerned, Capcom's approach throughout development left it vague. For this animated series, they chose to use the same conceptual framework from Street Fighter the movie instead. Like the film, the television series centers on Guile leading a group of super fighters in an attempt to destroy M. Bison's terrorist group, Shadaloo. Chun-Li, Blanca, Cammy, and Ryu make up this squad. Before delving into their characters, let's examine some key episodes more thoroughly.
Sonic Boom!
Episode 1, where everything begins. As this is the inaugural episode of the series, allow me to delve into some specifics so you can comprehend the formation of the squad in the first place. The first scene of the episode shows Guile fighting a fighter known as the Crimson Crawdad in a warehouse. The crowd shows their displeasure by calling out Guile for missing a mission in Shadaloo. After winning, Guile meets Escher, who tells him of a biological virus that may kill a person within 24 hours of contact. Furthermore, everyone on the team tasked with finding the cure, including Lucinda Davila, Guile's ex-girlfriend, disappeared. This discovery prompts Guile, who enlists Chun-Li, Ryu, and Ken to assemble the squad. Next, we see Ryu and Ken traveling through the woods to reach a shrine when they stop at a cottage by a river, where they unintentionally run across Guile. Though initially reluctant, Guile grants them permission to accompany him on his quest. Upon rendezvousing with Chun-Li, the quartet learns that Lucinda and her team were abducted by none other than M. Bison himself. In the meantime, Blanca, who had been sequestered in an old temple after Bison had mutated him, sees the kidnapping of the temple's natives and manages to escape. Then Bison greets the detainees and explains that he has captured them to find a viral cure. He goes on to say that the natives will be used as test subjects, putting them in a chamber equipped with a bomb that carries the virus. Bison gives doctors a deadline: discover a cure before sunrise or risk the bomb going off and infecting all of the prisoners. In another event, Guile meets Blanca, who at first attacks him before stopping and telling him that he left the temple to find the locals who had been abducted and that he considered them to be family. When Guile reveals Bison's role in their kidnapping, Blanca consents to go with him for a while, but only to rescue the natives. Next, in Bison's base camp, He checks Lucinda's work, but she firmly rejects his intrusion. Meanwhile, in the woods, Chun-Li and Guile discover Ryu and Ken have disappeared. They have secretly traveled to the temple suggested by Blanca. However, while there, Ryu falls unconscious unexpectedly, having acquired the infection from an infected pig. After sneaking into the base, Guile, Chun-Li, and Blanca fight Bison's guards and manage to free the doctors. As he watches them go, Bison gets hold of Lucinda and ruins the experiment. However, Blanca steps in and attacks Bison. After that, Blanca frees the natives, but sadly, the bomb goes off before he can get them out. Upon discovering that Blanca has the infection, Guile eventually reaches Lucinda, and he vows retaliation and pursues Bison, who takes off in a helicopter. He receives assistance from Ken, who has taken over a tank from Bison's troops. They quickly learn that Blanca's altered blood is producing antiviral antibodies, which work as a treatment for the infection. When Ryu and all the virus sufferers are saved, Guile invites Blanca to consider joining the team, even if he still harbors grudges against him for his mutation. Soon after, Ryu and Ken show up. Ryu thanks the guys for their work. Finally, Blanca consents to become one of them, and he humorously ends the show by making fun of Guile's debt to him from their earlier misadventures in Mindanao.
Blanca, hard-kicking fighting machine, Chun-Li.
Episode 2. Chun-Li's motivation. The first thing that happens in this episode is that Bison has taken over a nuclear power facility. Officially, the Chinese government plans to comply with his demand for $10 million by the next night. But privately, Guile and his crew of street fighters are already on their way to China. Guile tries to talk Chun-Li into going with him, but at first she says no. Chun-Li has terrible recollections of the place where Bison is currently, since it was there that he killed her father and wreaked havoc on the entire neighborhood. Nevertheless, her determination changes when she realizes the danger the locals might face. Cammy pilots a jet to carry Guile, Chun-Li, and Blanca to the factory. They find Bison gone when they get to the control room. Through the monitors, he teases them, and Guile orders his crew to split up and seek him out. Chun-Li eventually locates Bison and violates Guile's orders by confronting him in combat, only to learn that the man she's battling is actually a holographic projection. Meanwhile, they discover that the factory has been fitted with explosive that they can't deactivate. Reunited with Cammy, who comes aboard a hoverjet, they use signal tracking technology to determine Bison's whereabouts. When Chun-Li sees Bison trying to escape, he chases after him and catches him before he can get on a plane. She plans to use her fireball to eradicate the jet's fuel tank, but Bison manipulates her to think about the possible loss of innocent lives in her personal quest for vengeance. Chun-Li listens to what he says and asks Bison for the detonator. He complies, but Bison takes off in the aeroplane and flees as she ties up the detonator. As Chun-Li visits her father's grave the next day, she apologizes for letting Bison escape. She returns to Guile and confesses her inner anguish, remembering Bison's criticism of her for giving up the chance to get revenge. Guile assures her that Bison was wrong in his response. Chun-Li has shown incredible character fortitude and honored her father's legacy by putting the lives of others before her own personal grudge. Episode 3. Bison's Psychological Warfare. The episode begins with Bison kidnapping Guile and using the apparatus invented by Dr. Murchison to manipulate Guile's dream. Escher calls Chun-Li and informs them about the matter a while later. Dragged by Bison, Zangief, and the whole group, Guile has been beaten up so badly that he goes unconscious and is captured. DJ and Chun-Li begin to search for Guile, but their journey is not without bumps and obstacles. Blanca takes it upon himself to keep fighting right after Chun-Li sends him a message. Initially, Ken rejects staying, but Ryu encourages him to participate and contribute. The Street Fighters reunite with Honda, who manages to breach Murchison's database and acquire the GPS coordinates for Guile's location, albeit at the expense of his laptop blowing up. Meanwhile, Bison and Murchison discover someone important to Guile, Lucinda. Murchison uses this knowledge to alter Guile's nightmares, instilling false thoughts that Escher abandoned him by taking Lucinda away and that the Street Fighters are enemies while Bison is his confidant. Subsequently, the Street Fighters arrive at the laboratory base and enter. After splitting off, Chun-Li goes in search of Guile, while Ryu, Ken, DJ, and Blanca battle Bison's mutants, feeling that the Street Fighters have betrayed him. Guile attacks Chun-Li. On the other hand, Chun-Li never gives up and keeps referring to the Street Fighter code of honor, discipline, justice, and commitment, until she breaks Guile's mental block and releases him from Bison's hold. Upon the arrival of the others, Guile initiates the base's self-destruction procedure, having identified Blanca as a sign of Bison's disastrous scheme. The Street Fighters barely make it out in time and witness Bison take off on a jet. After returning home, Guile told Chun-Li guarantee that if some more time had been lost, he might have let out something confidential to Bison that wouldn't have been wise. Chun-Li guarantees that the Street Fighters are his actual blood and thus his real family.
Then take a nap, Sonic!
Episode 4, Sagat's Ultimatum and Guile's Defiance. In an attempt to obtain the file holding information on him, Sagat attacks the U.S. Embassy in Shadaloo at the beginning of the episode. To save the embassy employees, Escher sends a squad of Street Fighters, Guile, Chun-Li, and Blanca, by helicopter. Following the destruction of one of the helicopters upon arrival, Guile imposes a stringent people-only policy on the remaining aircraft, prohibiting the extraction of any files. Even though practically all the crew was being evacuated, Guile used scanning equipment to find someone still inside. He re-enters the building, telling Chun-Li and Blanca to leave if he doesn't return within 2 minutes. Inside, Guile discovers the missing person, Kip, the ambassador's son. However, before they can flee, Sagat's men attack the embassy. Chun-Li and Blanca had no option but to take off, abandoning Guile and Kip behind. After leading Kip to a second evacuation site, Guile is forced to give up after Kip is captured. When they go back to the embassy, Sagat gives Guile a warning: give up the file with his personal information or face being forced to battle. Guile vehemently declines, and soon he's thrown into a ring and up against other opponents. Confined to his room, Kip cleverly makes his way out of there via the ventilation system and issues a distress call, which Chun-Li picks up on. She and Blanca dash to the ring, where Guile disables Sagat with a crushing sonic boom. Now that Sagat is down, the group quickly eliminates the last of his men. When Kip finally gets to see his parents again, he admits that he possessed the Sagat files all along. As the episode comes to a close, Kip asks Guile to demonstrate how to perform a sonic boom, but Guile advises him to discover his own special abilities instead.
Very impressive, but you can't win!
Episode 5, Confrontation on Demon Island. This episode commences at a martial arts competition when Guile is participating, as well as DJ, who is keen to win to restore his reputation. Later, Escher calls Guile and tells him that Bison has stolen the XX-9, a cutting-edge stealth plane with physical transparency and radar invisibility. It is up to Guile to disrupt Bison's ambitions, as he is seeking an astounding $10 billion in a short time, just 24 hours. Not having enough time to put up a whole squad, Guile settles on Blanca, Cammy, and DJ. After boarding an aircraft, the Street Fighters head towards the SX-9's last known location. However, waves of energy hit their aircraft, causing the engines to malfunction and abruptly halt. Upon reaching Demon Island by swimming, Zangief apprehends the party. Despite being found, they escape and split into 2 groups. DJ and Blanca divert Zangief, while Guile and Cammy move for Bison's stronghold. Guile and Cammy finally enter Bison's headquarters and find the stolen aircraft. Unfortunately, DJ and Blanca get captured. As Zangief returns the prisoners to the base, a fight breaks out, allowing DJ to flee and causing Zangief's vehicle to crash. Guile breaks his arm during the altercation, but Blanca takes advantage of the situation to flee. Blanca and the original SX-9 crew are able to board the plane as Cammy intervenes to save the day. DJ repels Bison and Zangief, and Guile and DJ board the jet. All the same, a reckless round of gunfire from Bison's guards causes a generator to blow up, starting a series of events that explode the whole facility. As Bison escapes in a submarine and the Street Fighters escape on the plane, Zangief is able to swim to freedom. In the closing scenes, after Guile's arm injury prevents him from performing in the tournament finals, DJ wins his final match. Delighted, he declares with pride that he has returned to the championship. To sum things up, the first season follows the 1994 film's concept rather well, with corny standalone episodes that tell episodic tales. Some episodes feel like obvious commercials for products, while others, especially the ones that concentrate on character development, stand out as exceptionally good. On the other hand, Season 2 represents a notable advancement in the show. Compared to the first season, the entire tone becomes noticeably more somber. The episodes are still self-contained, but an overarching plot gives the narrative more depth and coherence.
They have their own code of honor, discipline, justice, commitment.
The main characters of this show, Colonel William F. Guile. Guile, who is voiced by Michael Donovan, is the main character in the series. He takes on the position of the commander of the Street Fighters, a peacekeeping group made up of influential figures from the Street Fighter games. Retaining his title and full name, Colonel William F. Guile, as shown in the live-action movie, he is childless and single, unlike his video game counterpart. Among Guile's romantic entanglements are his sporadic contact with his ex-girlfriend Lucinda and his attraction to Cammy, an original character. He appears in most of Season 2 and is an important character in every episode of Season 1. Chun-Li. Chun-Li takes on the role of the show's main female character, appearing with Guile in most episodes. She has the same motivation to exact revenge on Bison for killing her father, as she has in the video game. She is also a news reporter, taking cues from her movie counterpart. Chun-Li, in particular, is one of the most powerful members of the team and excels more in cerebral than physical abilities. Donna Yamamoto provided the voice of the character. Blanca. Like the film Adaptation, the Blanca in the TV series is Charlie, Guile's comrade in arms, who gets mutated by Dr. Dalsum. He briefly transforms back into Charlie from the Street Fighter Alpha video games in the episode Eye of the Beholder, sporting his chains and a green vest. Scott McNeil provides the voice of Blanca. Ken, another member voiced by Scott McNeil. Ken is depicted as an adventurer, a swindler whose personal gains come before the welfare of Guile and the crew. Nevertheless, he becomes pivotal in the next season. Intriguingly, Ken is the only character in the whole series who beats Akuma in the World's Greatest Warrior episode. Ryu, portrayed by Tong Lung, is Ken's traveling buddy. Ryu, unlike his opponent, carries himself with great responsibility and maturity. The character becomes more popular in the second season and continues his feud with Saga from the video games. Now that we have spoken about a few good guys, it's time to talk about the main baddie, Bison. As the main enemy of the series, Bison is portrayed as the ruthless and power-hungry dictator of Shadaloo, much as in the video games. Similar to his powerful performance in the film version, Richard Newman voiced M. Bison in the series, giving a performance that played a crucial role in the show's popularity. Why it's a must-watch for gamers and non-gamers. The Street Fighter II animated series originated under challenging circumstances. It was conceived from the flack of the Street Fighter movie, written off for the casting mishaps and non-serious feature story. It was the typical formula for bad movie adaptations from video games in the 1990s. Thus, this campaign did not live up to its previous glory. Still, there was a noticeable improvement in the second season. The creators changed their strategy and went with a better animation studio, which improved the visual appeal. They moved away from standalone episodes and towards a continuous plot, crafting a more unified tale. Significantly, the series broke from its connections to the live-action movie, adding new characters to the cast of characters already in place, while also expanding upon those from the Street Fighter Alpha and Final Fight games. This is a series that is worth watching and worth watching again. It depicts a gripping battle between Bison and Guile, which stands in for the traditional conflict between good and evil. The story is made funnier by characters like Honda, who was unexpectedly skilled at computer hacking, and DJ, who personifies stereotypes. Every character has a distinct charm that makes them incredibly interesting on their own. If you think you're beyond corny jokes and over-the-top conduct, think again. This cartoon is full of such cheesy, extravagant details in every corner. And for that very reason, going through it again may be a hilarious experience. Trust us and give it a try. Sonic Boom! Marvelous verdict. That brings us to the end of this video. In conclusion, Street Fighter II, the animated series, succeeds in being a smart and exciting program that becomes even better in its second season, despite a rocky start. We get the opportunity to lose ourselves in the Street Fighter universe and feel pleasant emotions in our hearts thanks to its lively characters, colorful narrative, and humorous situations. This series has a lot to offer. Therefore, gamers, as well as die-hard action lovers, should give it a try once or twice. Who is your favorite Street Fighter character? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked the video, remember to hit the like button and share this video with all your buddies. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hard-kicking fighting machine, Chun-Li.